And now in the next 30 minutes, we will take you through all the top stories from around the globe. 13 people were injured after Israeli troops fired warning shot towards Palestinian youths gathered at the Gaza-Israel border. Tension remained high in the area a day after deadly violence broke out in one of the biggest Palestinian demonstrations there in years. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas declared Saturday a national day of mourning, and a general strike was called across the occupied West Bank. Funerals were held for those Palestinians killed by Israeli security forces during the Gaza border clash. At least 16 people were killed after Israeli troops opened fire at the protesters on Friday. Palestinians clashed with Israeli forces at the West Bank city of Bethlehem in Jerusalem. Israeli forces scuffled with Palestinian protesters who chanted and gave plants away as part of the celebration of Land Day. These protests come a day after deadly clashes killed 16 people and injured more than 1,400 people. Lebanese soldiers, army intelligence officers and UN peacekeepers inspected a site in southern Lebanon where an Israeli drone crashed on Friday night. A statement from the Israeli military said that the drone had crashed because of a technical malfunction. A fire broke out at the Houthi-controlled Yemeni port of Hodeidah on Saturday, destroying warehouses filled with cooking fuel and food parcels. Hodeidah handles the bulk of Yemen's imports, including critically needed food and aid supplies in the war-ravaged countries. The 3-year war in the country has pushed it to the verge of famine. The International Criminal Court has taken a male man in custody accused of war crimes and crimes against humanity. The suspect was indicted for crimes allegedly committed as a de facto chief of Islamic police in Timbuktu in 2012 and 2013, including destroying cultural monuments. He is also accused of enforcing policies that led to sexual enslavement of women and girls. The American flag was removed from the U.S. consulate building in St. Petersburg. Earlier, officials were seen carrying bags and boxes out of the building and loading them into a truck. Moscow ordered the closure of U.S. consulate in St. Petersburg and the expulsion of 60 U.S. diplomats on Thursday. Dozens of Catalan demonstrators gathered outside Newminster prison where former Catalan President Carles Puigdemont is in custody while German courts examine Spain's extradition order. Catalan flags were tied to the fence outside the building while the protesters gathered to sing the Catalan anthem. Some of the demonstrators tried to deliver parcels to Puigdemont, one containing Easter chocolate. The parcels were, however, turned away by the prison. The funeral of Professor Stephen Hawking was held Saturday at a church near the Cambridge University College, where he was a fellow for more than half a century. Over 500 family members, friends and colleagues attended the private funeral service at the Great St. Mary's Church. Thousands turned up outside the church to pay their respect, watching Hawking's coffin being carried by 6 porters into the church. Voting has been closed in Sierra Leone's presidential runoff. Voters appeared to turn out in lower numbers than in the first round on March 7. The voting of the second round was expected to be held on Tuesday, but was delayed after a ruling party member filed a court challenge alleging irregularities in the first round. The The brutal military aggression by the Syrian army in Ghouta region has left hundreds of thousands of people displaced. Amira Garmosh's family has been a victim of both sides of the war for the eastern Ghouta region near Damascus. The 67-year-old Syrian mother of 9 is now hoping to piece back together what's left of it. The main opposition party in the Democratic Republic of Congo has elected Felix Tshisekedi as their leader. Tshisekedi is the son of the late party founder Etienne Tshisekedi, who died over a year ago in Brussels. He will fight as the presidential candidate of the new Union for Democracy and Social Progress Party in the coming elections. After being selected as the party head, Felix Tshisekedi claimed that his party, Union for Democracy and Social Progress, is capable of taking power in the upcoming presidential election. The party in opposition for 36 years, presidential elections are due to take place on December 23 in Congo. Belgium's Prince Laurent has had his monthly allowance docked for a year. According to the report, the country's federal parliament voted for 15% out to his €300,000 annual allowance. The report added that the sanction came after the prince attended a ceremony at the Chinese embassy wearing army uniform without taking permission to do so. Kenya government has called for life sentence for those possessing ivory. The announcement comes as a headstone was unveiled for the world's last male northern white rhinoceros. The last male rhinoceros died last month. He survived by the last two females of his species. Firefighters in China's Jiangxi province rescued a 3-year-old boy who was struck in a gap between two walls. The boy got stuck in the gap, which was about 20 centimeters wide while playing. It was a tough task for the firefighters to rescue the boy, as there were several bricks protruding above his head. China launched 3 optical satellites into space with 1 rocket starting the operation of the country's first commercial satellite constellation. The 3 optical satellites were developed by the China SpaceSat company. The mission was carried out by the Long March 4C carrier rocket. Those satellites are expected to give a leg up to the survey, monitoring and supervision of natural resources in China. As China is carrying out the last step in its 3-step strategy of the manned space program, it unveiled its space station core module developed in Tianjin Aerospace Town. China has been developing and building parts of a manned space station and plans to start assembling it in space in 2020. The station is scheduled to become fully operational around 2022. China's Hong Kong Special Administrative Region government has condemned the so-called Hong Kong independent speech by a scholar. Benny Tai Yu Ting, who is a professor with the University of Hong Kong, has recently made the speech in Taiwan, saying that Hong Kong might consider becoming an independent nation. The government has said that any idea of Hong Kong independence goes against the one country, two systems principle and harms the city's overall interest in the long run. As a reciprocal gesture, South Korean singers and staff will perform in Pyongyang. The artists, including K-pop girl group Red Velvet, member of a girls band Girls' Generation Seoyoung, as well as some music industry veterans. They are expected to stay in Pyongyang until April 3. Six years after she was shot in her head by the Taliban, Malala Yousafzai visited her hometown of Mingora in the Swat Valley in Pakistan. She was accompanied by Pakistan State Information Minister Maryam Aurangzeb. Besides her home, she also visited the Cadet College and the Fiza Ghat Park in the Swat Valley. This is her first visit to Pakistan after she was airlifted out of the country after being shot by the Taliban in 2012. At least 2 people died in a fire as Indonesian authorities tried to clean up an oil spill off Borneo Island. The blaze was sparked as workers tried to clear the spill in waters near Balikpapan city by burning it. The victims are believed to be fishermen. The cause of the spillage and fire is still under investigation. In an attempt to break a world record, several hundred swimsuit-clad Russian skiers and snowboarders hit the slopes of Sochi. Around 1,800 people participated in the event wearing bikinis, swim shorts and costumes. Pope Francis on Saturday led an Easter Vigil service. He baptized 8 adults, including a formerly undocumented Nigerian migrant who became a hero when he disarmed an Italian thief wielding a cleaver. In his weekly address, President Donald Trump wished Happy Easter and Happy Passover to the American people. Easter celebrates the resurrection of Jesus Christ, while the Jewish holiday Passover celebrates the Israelites being freed from slavery in Egypt. Thousands of hooded participants took part in an Easter procession in the Sicilian city of Enna. Over 2,000 members of local confraternities donned white hoods to take part in a Good Friday procession, walking ahead of the statues of a blood-stained Christ and a 6-foot-high statue of grief-stricken Madonna. Now some national news. India's Minister of State of External Affairs General V.K. Singh will visit Iraq today to get the bodies of 39 Indians killed in Mosul. After receiving the bodies, General V.K. Singh will hand over them to their relatives in Punjab, Himachal, Bihar and then West Bengal. The 39 Indians were working in projects near Mosul when they were kidnapped by the Islamic State fighters in 2014 when the terror organization took control of the city. Two separate encounters are underway in Jammu and Kashmir's Shopian district. The encounter started late Saturday night. 2 terrorists are believed to be holed up in the area. 3 soldiers have also been injured. Army Chief General Bipin Rawat on Saturday visited Northern Command headquarters in Jammu Kashmir's Udhampur district and reviewed overall security situation along the line of control. General Rawat was on a 2-day visit to J&K. He earlier had visited forward areas bordering China in the eastern Ladakh region. "28 years after Kashmiri Pandits fled from the state of Jammu and Kashmir, Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti said that state is incomplete without Kashmiri Hindus. In a conference in Delhi, Mufti assured that the government is doing everything to remove the troubles that Kashmiri Pandits are facing. Mufti made the remarks calling the Kashmiri Hindus back home while attending an interactive session with the community in the capital. Shah Rukh took to Twitter and to share a picture with Hollywood filmmaker Christopher Nolan, who arrived in India on Friday for a 3-day film event. My fanboy moment, inspiring to hear Mr. Nolan talk of the virtues of cellulite as an artist's medium. He wrote, Nolan is being hosted by filmmaker Shivendra Singh Dugarampur for all the 3 days. The Court of Additional District and Sessions Judge Rajiv Kalra on Friday suspended the 2-year jail term awarded to Punjabi pop singer Daler Mehndi in a 2003 human trafficking case. Mehdi's defense counsel had moved an appeal against the sentence awarded to him by a Patiala court. The suspension order means he will not be jailed till the appeal is decided. Pippa Middleton's father-in-law, David Matthews, has been handed preliminary charges by a French court for allegedly raping a minor in 1998 to 99, which was reported to the police in 2017. The 74-year-old former racing driver has denied the court, unquote, scandalous and untrue accusations. Amitabh Bachchan took to Twitter to share his look from the upcoming Telugu film Saira Narasimha Reddy, in which he will be seen in a cameo appearance. Sharing the look, he wrote, Saira Narasimha Reddy, the joy and honor of working with Chiranjeevi. Bachchan plays a spiritual leader to the main lead, Chiranjeevi's character in the film.